everyone.
Hi everyone, welcome back to our podcast in the love state of mind. My name is Ashmina and
My name is Regina. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of our podcast. We constantly are, making changes in our content and brainstorming ideas to add value to you guys. And I think today we have a special topic prepared for you. So I hope you guys are ready to get something out of the podcast and also share it with your friends and family and continue to give us support.
yeah, exactly. For today's episode, we are gonna talk about getting away from social media,
Yeah.
aka digital detox. Okay, why didn't you start?
Yeah, I think the term itself, digital detox sounds relaxing and therapeutic. And I know for someone who constantly uses social media and especially being away from home, I know we use social media to talk with our parents and communicate or video call our friends and family. But in this digital age, it can be a little bit toxic, because constantly using social media apps, and especially there's a lot of apps coming out Lemonade, TikTok, Threads, so it can be kind of hard to keep up with all the social media. But that's why I think we came up with this topic of balancing your personal life and then your life in social media, or just taking care of yourself in this digital age, and how do you do that and not have fear of missing out, FOMO, with using social media. So I think that's how we came up with this topic and idea. And we constantly support taking digital breaks and being out in nature. And that does not mean getting anxious or worried about, oh, who's texting me, am I missing out on something. But nowadays I think it's more relaxed, even if it's a day or two, we try to have that boundary with ourselves in terms of using social media. So yeah, how has that played in your role?
Honestly, for me, as far as digital detox go, how I realized that I need to take one is my phone is always on D&D. Right? It's always on D&D, but however, I tend to miss no text and no messages.
Me too, yeah.
So that means that I'm always on my phone. So, and I feel like that plays a really big part in my life, as in I don't know how to put it into words actually. I don't know. It's just too much. A lot of information together at the same time. Yeah. And then as soon as I have nothing else to do or I'm not talking to anyone, boom, go back to your phone.
Yeah, yeah. Mindless scrolling.
Exactly, yeah. And then I just realized that that's not healthy for me, because at night too, I'm in my bed, I'm scrolling instead of sleeping, and I wake up groggy all the time,
Yeah.
So I know that I need to, but it's so difficult to do it.
Exactly.
How do you deal with yours, digital detox?
Yeah, before it used to be so hard, but then I started, putting those time limits on Instagram or Facebook, TikTok. I don't use Facebook that much, mainly Instagram. But then some days, even if the time limit pops up, I will cancel it. But now I'm okay, if the time limit is coming up, I just close the phone, and then it's not healthy for my eyes too. And then especially since I'm working, making content for our podcast or my business, then it's kind of hard not to like other people's posts or watch memes or get stuck in the whole scrolling thing. But what I do is I set a timer for 30 minutes or an hour, and then just make content, not like other people's posts, not watch other memes. So I've started doing that, and that's really helped me. But there are some days where you fall out of it, but it's just really helpful to set those timers within yourself and set those boundaries. And also just make a note of what content you're planning to make before you open Instagram, because there have been some days when I open Instagram and then I forget
what you're there for.
When I'm there for even
just start scrolling.
Start scrolling. And then I think the whole idea of these social media apps is just keep you hooked, don't get out, just keep on scrolling, Threads and all. And then it can be hard, especially not to compare yourself with other people or friends, and like we are all preaching for, you know, like not comparing our lives with other people, and that's so hard. So do you have anything that you do, you know, when you fall in that comparison trap, and what things do you do to remind yourself, hey, you know, like it's okay, like I'm human too, right?
I feel I am one of the worst in that. I'm not gonna lie. I myself need to, you know, learn something from you, because I know you're good at it. You go hiking, you go camping and stuff. Whereas me, even though I go camping, I tend to be on my phone. Yeah, so I am actually not very good at this at all. I do have a screen timer for my all the Instagram and everything. I wake up, I'm on my phone. It's already like, oh, screen timer, time to turn off. Oop, skip. Don't remind me again. Like, I don't even know why that's there anymore, you know? So I guess I don't have self-control with that.
Self-control, okay.
I feel like once I get to the what is it? The shorts on Instagram? No, what is it called? Reels.
Yes.
Yeah. As long as I'm looking people's story, I know like, oh, I can just like close it out and stuff. As soon as I get to Reels, it gets me. I just keep scrolling and scrolling. And while I mostly do it on my iPad. When you do an iPad, it's like it comes automatically. I don't know how to explain. You know, like you're watching a video and then there's like another video, half of it you can see it already.
It pops up.
Yeah, it pops up. I think that's what gets you too. I guess it's their marketing strategy. I don't know.
No, I'm telling you.
But yes, so on this episode, honestly, I'm with the audience side, so I'm gonna have to listen to you more on this.
No, yeah, like you said, you know, I've been trying really hard not to get caught in those marketing strategy or like the scrolling thing. So I just tell myself like, okay, stop, time to do your dishes, time to, you know, fold your laundry, time to take a break from your eyes. And honestly, like I started being aware of that because of my increasing eye power.
Oh, don't even go there. You can see how thick my glasses are. So
yeah, like I had my eye checkup done I think a couple weeks ago, and tell you like I can't even read the numbers in your clock or watch right now. So that's how bad it got. And then I'm like, okay, I really need to, you know, take time for myself and like be away from like working on screen, especially like as a student, as a content creator. And then if you're someone working a desk job, it can be really hard, you know. And even on breaks, like lunch break or anything, like we have this tendency to go on our phone. But then it's nice, you know, to set a timer for yourself and just be out and about. And I do the same too. Like when I'm camping, hiking, I used to take pictures, but then now I'm more like, okay, you know, like I try to take a picture in my memory. And there's only like a couple of times that I take a couple shots, here and there, but not that much. And I'm just trying to do as much self-control, you know, and also just like setting that boundary for myself. And then as a content creator, like, or someone who's looking to work online, you know, that's something that I do. And especially talking about Reels, what I do is like I don't go on Reels. Like if I have to go on Reels, it's for like making videos for us, you know. And I set a timer for like 5-10 minutes to get inspiration, but I don't keep on scrolling. So that's what I do. And I think if you guys do anything, you know, for self-care or like setting boundaries, do let us know in the comments. But yeah, I think also I just wanted to point out something. Like I think we as Gen Z, right?
I guess
millennials. Yeah, millennials. Like we're using social media as a tool for like inspiration or empowerment, as opposed to like just using it as a user, right? Because I know there's a lot of power in social media, being a content creator, and you can make money from social media too. So I think if we switch the perspective of like being a creator versus user, then we can take more advantage of Instagram and, you know, attract more people into our content or stuff like that. So I try to switch perspective. Oh, you know, I'm a content creator, I'm not a user. So that helps too.
I really like how you said like switching perspective. That's something that I've not looked into. Every time for me, like if someone says like, oh, you know, like let's do a digital detox kind of, I was like, okay, let's go. I'm gonna go delete the app. So I delete the app, maybe for like a couple of days, and then boom, back to the same app again. You know?
Yeah.
Also, I think for me, what is the biggest part is since I'm not from here, my family is, you know, back home, so I like to know what they're doing in their life, and then you know, just to be a little, not having a fear of missing out. That can go both ways, right? Like you look at the pictures because you don't want to be left out, but you also look at the same picture and you feel left out, you know? So it does have both negative and positive.
pros and cons.
I guess I've just been focusing on negative ones, to be really honest.
Yeah, and like it goes, both ways. So I think I used to do the same way, like, catching up with friends, but now it's more intentional. And yeah, like I set my boundaries with my parents too. Like I don't call them when it's like 11 p.m. at night, or like early in the morning, and I always say to them, hey, this is my sleeping time, this is my bedtime, this is my waking up time. And I send them voice notes now more, or like send them pictures more, so they know like what's going on with my life. But setting those boundaries, and then also just letting them know, hey, yeah. And things are changing, right? Things are so dynamic. There's constantly something happening in the space, and I think we should use social media just as a means of like empowerment and inspiration, and not let those negative news in the social media get to us, and also I wanted to
miss the times when the internet used to only be like at certain time, like it used to be connected to phone before, and then every time someone's on the internet, it used to be like the other person cannot take any calls or anything because there's so loud noises, and then so you just have like certain time frame window where you're on the internet. I feel like life were easier back then.
That's why I think 5 years from now, I don't know where this whole social media and mental health thing will go on, especially with a lot of like teenagers or adults like comparing themselves in social media, and like it's hard to navigate the whole social media space. But what I try to do is just like focus on my own lane, I treat Instagram as my workspace, so like create content, make content, like find trends, inspiration, and just work for the community and use it as a voice to uplift other people, build community. So that's when I switched that perspective, so I think that helped me more connect with people. And also it's way easier when you're like getting off on social media, or like taking a day break, or even 2-3 days break, and then it's easier to transition to, hey, I'm back now, like what's up. Before I used to be like, oh, who's sending me text message, and to be honest, I don't get that much text anyways. So how about you? Like, how would you say you're going to use social media mindfully, or just to be gentle to your mind?
I like how you put it, like like perspective. I've said it before too, but I think I'm gonna start with like changing perspective first, like not using it for like what is like a fun thing rather than like a work.
It's nice,
as in not like a work pressure, but maybe watch something useful rather than watch someone like tie their hair or something, like.
No, and
their hair texture's not even like mine. Like, what am I looking at? I don't even know.
And I'm not saying like that's bad, but it's good to give yourself. Yeah, sometimes.
Not all day.
Yeah, not all day. Yeah, and we're here for that. Because I do I watch makeup videos. I watch mukbangs once in a while, right? And that's like my therapy, But we don't do it like every single day. It's just like constantly draining us, right? So I like that point. We do it every once in a while. So just being transparent with you guys, just like, oh, we're not only right.
I said it in the beginning. I think what I struggle most is with self-control. Like that, I think plays such a big part in digital detox in general. Like if you cannot control your mind not to go there, what I've noticed? Every time I use my phone, my hand automatically goes to Instagram.
I do.
Like, not even like knowingly, like not even like, okay, I'm gonna open my Instagram. No.
It's like your brain is like, okay.
Exactly. It goes automatically to Instagram. And then sometimes I'm not even watching the videos. I'm just scrolling. I don't know why I do that.
Stimulant for your eyes, for your brain. I think that's what I read. So I feel like a lot of people go to Instagram or social media for like a dopamine,
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I heard like if you go to the nature or just like soak the sunlight, that gives you dopamine rather than going on social media, because I used to do that same, like wake up in the morning, turn off the alarm, and then I used to be like, oh, who's texting me, but now I turn off my alarm or like snooze it or whatever, and then just take a breather for myself. So like not looking at your screen and first thing in the morning, that also helps.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And another thing that I want to mention is digital detox, as in it's not only your cell phone.
Yeah.
It's everywhere, like your TV, whatever, your PlayStation, everything, whatever is like done on like a screen, basically, right?
Exactly. And then I think one tip, if you guys want to do a digital detox, is like I go through this unfollow, list where I unfollow people who don't inspire me, or sometimes you're just following random account. There's like spam account, or like there's I don't know, it's a bunch of random shit that you follow. So I go and unfollow them so that my feed curates according to that. So like I get baking videos, or like
that was gonna be my next question. Like, do you search any hashtags or like something that help, that's something useful? Like, how do you get those on your feeds? Because honestly speaking, right now, I guess maybe that's why I watch those videos and that's why it's there. But I get a lot of like, makeups, hairstyles, like just random stuffs, What do you search?
I think I search mostly like motivational content, or like even on our podcast I get inspirationals feed about like starting a business, like being successful, and like hiking, nature videos. So I think that's how I have curated my feed, But before I used to get the same like K-pop dramas, or like just random memes.
Or these days I've been addicted to those Nigerian videos, like the low budget ones. The video the shampoo one I sent.
Oh yes, okay.
Those are stupid kind, it's like funny for some reason, but it's not adding any value or anything.
Just like making you laugh for a quick moment, and then you have to go back to reality.
Yeah, it kind of feels like I am trying to get away from reality and just looking at a funny video just to, trick my mind or something, but it doesn't help, clearly, but yeah.
Right, and also like to add to that, like I think some of the content on social media are triggering, so just like being mindful of what you're consuming, and then how the feed, especially on TikTok, I think there's a bunch of weird stuff that pops up on TikTok. So
I am on TikTok, but I don't use TikTok.
And I think the TikTok algorithm is changing, so you can shop on TikTok. And I think TikTok is paying some creators to make money off of it, but that's another topic, But I would say like be mindful of triggers, and then create like no social media zones. Like, do you use your phone while you're on lunch, breakfast, or dinner, something like that?
So something that I learned from Suhail, what he told me was like to take walks during lunch break after my lunch. So I do that now instead of like, well, before I used to be on my break room. There are other people that we don't talk to each other. We do, but then here and there we are always on our phone.
Yeah.
That's what we do. But after listening to him, I have this, I call it my sun time, where I actually go get some sun outside.
Nice.
And then just walk around during my lunch break. So I like that. I've been really enjoying that.
That's really nice, yeah. And to like add on to that, I think we are like humans outside of who we portray our life on social media or like online, and you don't have to share everything on social media. Not everyone has to know what's going on in your life. So I think you can keep some parts of your life to yourself, and then just remember that to practice activities offline, so like that involve no screen, like no TV, no phones, just like walking, swimming. That's something that I plan to learn.
Swimming?
Yeah,
Okay.
swimming, and then I don't know, just being in nature, knitting, sewing, anything like that, right? So practicing that, and also remembering, like you said, there's outside real world other than phones or social media, because when you're on trains or part, like everyone is on scrolling or like listening to music or like podcasts or something, and sometimes you forget that human connection, even though I'm on my phone when on train, because you're like crazy stuff happening on the train. So I think just remembering the real world, and social media is just one part of your life, and it's not everything.
It's not you. Yeah. What would you say are like some of the, I know like some people take social media in a different way, other people take it in a different way, but what do you think are some of the signs that people need to be aware of that, it's time for me to take a social media break?
Good question. Yeah. So I think for me, when I feel like too irritated or like too frustrated with how things are going in my life, and then like just constantly watching social media or like watching TV, and not just like procrastinating about the stuff that's happening in my real life, I think that's a sign. Or like you are using too much on social media, like you're using too much TikTok, you cannot sleep well, and just like paying attention to those like physical body changes, So I think that's a sign of not getting proper sleep, using too much social media, not connecting with other people in a genuine level, just like isolating with yourself. I think those are the signs. Not eating well too, I think.
Maybe. For me, I think it's going to be when I start comparing myself to an influencer who has better camera and better everything, better hair, better nails, whatever, right? I feel like I go in this a loophole of feeling depressed, and then I started comparing and stuff. That's when I feel like, okay, I think I need to get away from social media.
Yeah, and to add on to that, I used to do the same. Like, I used to follow, because I used to work out at home, and then I used to want like a perfect six-pack ab, and it's really hard for women to, like, for their diet, hormonal changes. So now I have detached that idea of a six-pack, and I try my best to just eat healthy, and then like work out or move my body. So I really get that part of like comparing yourself to like another influencer or like other people who make better content. So that's what I do. Like, I unfollow influencers who don't whose content doesn't align with my values. Yeah, because some influencers only show the bling bling of their life, and they're not being real.
I think most of the people do, right?
Influencers, because I don't know, throwing shade, but we're all here about like creating authentic spaces and showing up as you are. So
I think out of 10, only one time they're gonna show like what actually is happening in their life. Most of the time it's just just a little fun part of their life. I'm not calling them like fake or anything. They are real, but it's just like the happy real times. They don't show like the sad real of their times, So I myself have to understand that at times it's very difficult to do that, because all you see is good things. So even though you see their bad one thing, you feel like, oh, that's the only bad thing that's happening. But in my life, so many bad things are happening, but you're not them, so you don't know exactly what's happening.
Exactly. And I think like, take everything that we said, like, take what resonates with you, and then just make changes in your life accordingly, because what works for me might not work for her, and then what works for her might not work for you. And I think it's so nice to be compassionate with yourself and just your like capacity. So take digital detoxes as much as you like, and just be kind to your brain, and also remember that there's a world outside of social media, and like finding balance and setting boundaries with social media is like an ongoing process for us too. So
exactly.
Right. And also, anything else you'd like to add?
I think that would be it on like how to know when you need to take a break. Other than that, like, how would you recommend for someone who, let's say, who has never taken a digital detox, didn't know about it at all, let's say, how would you recommend like for them to like take a break?
I think the first thing you should do is like limit your notifications on your phone, because our phones are constantly bombarded with notifications, and my phone was the same, like, even for like
I just want to say that's a really good point.
right? Like messages or like Twitter or reminders or anything, Amazon. So I would say like limit your notifications. Like right now, go to your settings on notifications, and then turn off all the app notifications that you don't need, and even for like messages and Instagram, just set a timer for how much you want to use, like, limit it. And then just be mindful of like your feed, like mainly be really intentional on why you want to do that, because it can be really hard to not be bombarded with all kinds of notifications. And if you see one thing, then it really affects your whole day, right? And so it's really good to switch perspective, even if you're a user or a content creator or just use social media for fun. Just take social media breaks once in a while, because they will really help your brain and help you perform at your best,
Exactly. Even though like you see something, but you feel like, oh, this is not going to affect me, on back of the head it's gonna be there, like somehow or the other you are gonna be comparing, I feel. So I think limiting is such an important thing. I like how you said about like setting up the notification stuff. That's very, very crucial. I'm very good at that. I don't get notifications, but somehow I still see it.
D&D.
D&D is just D&D. It doesn't even work, honestly.
It doesn't
for
work,
me, it should work. That's the whole point it's there for, right? It doesn't work because I don't let it work for me, right? So, like you said, it has to come from within. Like, it's just not something like said and done. It takes practice, but I'm willing to do it, so
we should all be willing to do it, and just set like if you wake up at 7 a.m. in the morning, set do not disturb or sleep mode before that, and our phones have like the capacity to do that, right? And then work mode on, you don't get notifications from that, and just don't go on your phone when you're working, you know, because that's your work mode.
Yeah.
And same with DND. So don't take calls, don't take messages. It's my do not disturb time. So yeah, there are tools, resources for that, and just make sure your mind doesn't trick you into, you know, opening doors.
I feel like for me, actually, I tend to be more alert on like phones and stuff because I don't want to miss an opportunity. Well, that's what I think, you know. I don't want to miss opportunities and stuff. Do you have any like advice on that?
So like like fear of missing out.
It kind of I would
right?
say,
like text and all. So I think I have the same thing, you know, but I just, like I said, you know, like focus on your own thing, and then just, I think it takes practice. So once you start doing it for a day or two, it might be hard, but then once you start incorporating into your self-care routine, then just setting boundaries with yourself and with your phone too, right?
Yeah.
Like same thing where you set your boundaries at work. You know, you don't take work text or emails or check past 5 p.m. So that's the same thing with your social media notifications, you know. So after 8 or 9, you know, I'm done using it. So yeah,
I like how we should use that, like we should set like a certain time frame that you give it to. I think I'll give that a try.
Yeah, we should. Honestly. Yeah, find a balance.
So whoever sends me meme, I will not be responding. Just kidding. But yeah, I'll take a look eventually. But okay, I'm not gonna be readily available at however
time. Yeah. That's, you know, being
that's just because I want to be distracted, right? Removing distraction from your life.
Yeah, that's a distraction too. So especially like if you're working or, you know, like doing your assignment and stuff, it's so hard. If your phone is right there, it's so hard not to pick it up and then go on Instagram, right? So yeah, and also like if you are working, then just play. Keep your phone in the other room, and then, you know, charge it somewhere else, and then just play lo-fi focus music and do your work. So I think that does help.
Focus music does help, actually. Yes, it does. It does.
Especially with like the headphones and enhanced. Yeah, that's true. So exactly. Any other thoughts, concerns, questions? I think. Yeah.
How do you think digital detox plays into? How does anxiety plays into digital detox? Like, how do you think?
Yeah, I think when I'm not taking a digital detox, it's like really stimulating my mind. And sometimes I feel like, oh, why am I not doing this? Why am I not doing that? You know, because before I started like all this podcast and like my coaching program, I'd see all my friends doing that. And you know how when you're thinking of something, Instagram provides you that, like, oh, you're thinking of this, we're gonna send you this, we're gonna send you that.
Don't speak anymore, right? Yeah.
And like I used to get that, I'm like, oh wow, I should make content like her. Oh wow, I should, you know, like make a coaching program like her. So I think that would fuel my anxiety. And what I did was like, okay, I'm just gonna make it, and we're just gonna start a podcast, we're just gonna create content, and just switching the perspective and just focusing on my own thing instead of comparing myself. I think that helps me reduce my anxiety. And also like taking, you know, breaks, and it's okay to take breaks, because before when I was doing the network marketing thing, I'd be like, oh, I should not take a break, you know, it's like all go, like make content, show up on socials every single day. But now it's like more kind of toning down, like we talked in the liberation episode. So I think that has helped me a lot. Just focusing on our own journey and not comparing myself to other people.
I have an example for what anxiety and social media did. So I saw a post from this girl who I know from school. We don't know each other that very well, but she's in my friend list. She posted a picture, and then I saw a comment on her picture that said, even though it was in Nepali, but it said like, even though God didn't give you the face, at least God gave you the body.
Oh,
that whole sentence, it stood with me like till today. It was like a couple months ago that I saw. That was so rude and unnecessary. It made me think like, oh, now if I'm gonna post a picture, are they gonna, you know, say something similar? I don't know. It's just like
triggered you.
Yeah, triggered me, and not in a good way.
Yeah, and
that gives me anxiety. Like every time I post, I'm like, are people gonna say I look fat? Are people gonna say, you know, I have this? You know, it's just
unfollow her.
No, she's good. Like on her picture, someone posted that, you know.
Okay, but yeah, you know, if, like I said, you know, if that triggers you or makes you think or like feel some type of way, then just like mute notification. That's what I do. Like, you know, if I see, you know, people like that trigger me, I'm like, okay, that does not sit well with me, so I'm not gonna, you know, follow you with you or something like that, or like mute you, you know, because you can tell, you know, like when some posts make you feel a certain type of way.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I think, thank you for sharing. Yeah, I know, like body image is huge and
unnecessary.
Yeah,
it's unnecessary. Like,
the captions and all, you know, even if she meant it in a sarcastic way, you know, like, people.
And then she was replying to all the other comments except for that. I don't know how I got into her page with all the comments,
all the comments and all.
She was replying to all the comments, so I know she saw it. You know? I'm like thinking in my head, like, how bad must she have felt, you know? Which is so
exactly
negative.
Yeah. And I think some people use it like to project, you know. So if anyone, or even social media, like online communities can be so hard, or like, you know, hate on each other. I think they're just projecting their insecurities on you. So yeah, just take it, you know, with ease, and just remember that to set a boundary with those kind of comments, you know, or like content. So right, yeah, I guess exactly if you come across them. So yeah, but it does impact a lot in our like mental health, and that's why we preach take digital detox. Self-care, right?
I guess the thing that I wanted to say is, like, it doesn't have to happen to you for you to, you know, start the anxiety thing. If the things that you see from somewhere else too, you know, it affects you in very negative way.
Yeah, it does, right?
Yeah.
I totally get you, yeah. Thank you for bringing that up also. Exactly. And just like, you know, like when filters were a great thing, like, this idea of perfection. And I used to use like social media, I mean the Instagram filters or Snapchat filters, but now I'm like, okay, this is my face, no makeup, you know, and now I'm only putting eyeliner, just so like that was a huge thing for me. Like every time I used to go live or like used to make a post about myself or boomerang, I'll be like, oh, this is not perfect, I'm not gonna post it. Try to find the right angle, try to find the right filter, you know, a bunch of bullshit. But
take a picture from left, take a picture from right.
And I think when you're doing that, you know, it's nice, but then it kind of gets in your head. Like sometimes I used to spend like 30 minutes just to get a perfect like story with a filter.
Totally.
Right. Nothing against filters, but you know, they're nice and all, but sometimes it can warp your idea, like, you know, your beauty. Right.
I agree. I agree.
You're beautiful just the way you are.
Yeah. When was the last time you took a digital detox?
Oh, good question. I think last weekend, my birthday weekend. Okay, this was the first birthday that I had with less like people, and then just being with myself and nature and my like partner, you know. And just not using social media, because you know before we used to be like, oh, it's my birthday, you know, people used to wish you, but this year I don't think a lot of people knew about my birthday, and just, you know, close friends wished me, and just it felt really nice and relaxing. How about you?
I think for me it's been a while, not this year, I don't remember doing it this year, but last year, yes, I have. It was really good, I think.
Right.
I don't remember very well, but I do remember that I had more time in my hand to do things that I actually needed to do.
Yeah.
Rather than, you know, 5 minutes Instagram, no, and it's like already an hour.
Exactly. And time flies by so fast when you're using, you know, Instagram, TikTok.
Yeah.
Especially, so you have time, you know, and then you're just distracted by the technology and apps. And you just, I hope you put that into good use, you know. Use social media, like for, you know, laughs and stuff, sharing memes, but also be mindful of the time you have, you know, in a day.
The other day, actually, someone mentioned saying that there's the time in America goes so fast. I used to say that too. But it's the same 24 hours. It's just because we're on our phone so much that half of the day is already gone. Right? Yeah, I think that's why it's just feels like that.
Yeah, and I think, did you see one meme that I think one a British guy made fun of American people, saying like how they work so much and they're constantly on their laptop or phones, you know, working and not taking care of themselves. So that was really funny, like eating lunch while they're on their phone or work. So that was really funny.
Yeah, when you think about it, there's so little time when you're not on the screen though.
Yeah.
Like my work, I have to be on my screen.
Mhm.
There's not an option. My eye doctor actually said, when you're on the computer so much, you also forget to blink. Right?
Yeah, just blink. No, I did that too. That's so true. Thank
Don't
you.
forget to blink. So I was actually talking to my doctor about how I want to get a LASIK done, you know, and all, but my vision is still not stable and I'm not able to do it. He also said that I might have a little bit of dry eyes because I don't blink.
Okay.
I didn't know that. So that's something, you know, remember to blink, you guys.
That's so nice that they say that, you know, because we constantly forget to blink.
Yeah.
That's true. And like, you know how they say like if you're constantly working on your computer, just stare at something like 20 feet away for 20 seconds and blink. I think that's the exercise they do. So
I should do that.
Yeah.
I've never done it.
Yeah, just be, you know, mindful of your own body, right? Because don't be too harsh on your eyes. And yeah, I hope we get to see with our own eyes too. And that's why I'm very mindful of like screen time and yeah, true.
So, do you recommend people for doing a digital detox, like complete digital detox, or like not completely like canceling out everything?
Yeah. So my idea of digital detox is like not using social media, but like I'm on my phone, taking pictures or like texting people, you know. So I think once in a while, you know, tweak your own idea of what a digital detox looks like for you. So it can be like deleting media apps, putting notifications, like time limits on it. So I think having your own version of digital detox that works for you as a self-care, you know, that's really helpful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Basically, there's whatever works for you. Right?
Yeah, reducing screen time, and then just that helps you stay sane, you know, and then just connecting with yourself, setting that purpose, you know, what kind of digital detox works for me.
Yeah. If one thing works for you doesn't mean that it's going to work for everybody, right? Some people do need to get like their emails and stuff.
Yeah.
They work in that environment, you know.
I need to work
yeah.
on that because I check my emails.
Yeah, me too. I'm always on my email.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
scrolling
something.
constantly. True, yeah.
What are so after all of those negative talks, let's talk about something positive. Like, what have you experienced, or what have you like seen change in yourself, like after doing the digital detox?
Yeah, I think I come back more, you know, ready and clear about like, oh, you know, this is what I should do. Oh, because before when I used to take a digital detox, I used to be all anxious because of all the stuff I need to do, all the content I need to create, you know, and it used to be like the huge pressure for me. But now I'm more like, oh, you know, like I'm a human and I don't need to reply to all the messages. I don't need to, you know, post the content every single day. And yeah, just like taking it easy on myself, and I come back more ready to do my work, you know.
Yeah. I feel
Yeah.
like you're gonna be, when I did it last year, I feel I was more like alert in what's happening with my like surroundings.
Yeah,
you know?
that's true.
That was one thing. I did feel like more confident in myself because I wasn't comparing to anyone else.
Yeah.
I wasn't giving myself I wasn't giving an opportunity for myself to compare with somebody else. So that was good, and I feel like I was talking to people more in person. You know, getting to actually know them rather than following them on Instagram and then see how their social media life is.
Yeah. Just like, you know, because it can drain your social battery, like being on social media, you know, even though you don't know that person personally. So I think, just taking that time to recharge yourself, and I think you gain back more of your time, you know. So I think those are the positive stuff that you can gain back from like a digital detox.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Anything else that you would like to add on this self-care topic, and then maintaining boundaries?
I think I do want to add saying that like you mentioned earlier, like whatever works for you. If something works for her, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna work for me.
Totally.
I have my total way of doing my digital detox. You have your own way. So it just takes time, but you'll have to find your own way, right? So be patient with yourself, whatever it is. If something that you see on the internet doesn't make you feel happy, or like, you know, doesn't add value to whatever your thoughts are, then maybe it's time to cut them out.
Yeah, like you said, you know, if you're feeling some type of way, like feeling your mood changes, like if you're feeling insecure, like watching the content in your feed, then definitely take some time off from social media, you know, to recharge and work on yourself, right? And then just make changes here and there, like in your personal life, and just be mindful of what you share with others, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what can you do if you're doing a digital detox? I feel like nowadays, if you're not unimportant, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
Like, that's the next question, right?
It's like, you know, constant need for like stimulation, like you're getting over anxious and like feeling the need to like, oh, I need to respond to this message, oh, I need to post this content, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, like just give us some ways on how you are going to implement the strategies or like tips that we shared, and do let us know, you know, what's your version of digital detox and how you are taking care of yourself in this digital age, right? Yeah. So I think, is there anything else you'd like to add with our
No, I think that is all. We learned a lot from you, Regina, in this episode.
Thank you.
We'll
Me
definitely
too.
be trying. I hope you guys try it too.
Yeah, and do let us know if you missed out on anything and how that looks like for you. And also don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel and share this with other friends who need to know about digital detox or need some kind of, you know, boundaries with their social media. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, guys, and I hope this episode helped you navigate your journey with social media, and also just a reminder to be compassionate with yourself, right? So until next time,
Bye.
thank you. Bye.